Hey, yo, yo. Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gonna dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Senpaku. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.
Check it out. Boom. All right, I'm ready.
Let's get it.
Let's pod. That's what all the cool kids say. Let's pod.
Is it?
Yeah.
We're not cool kids.
Every single.
We're not cool and we're not kids.
Right, bro. Hey, look, bro. I'm sorry. I don't like Hunter x Hunter. It's just too many children. Here's the thing. It's too late for me.
Are you recording?
Yes.
And you started off.
with an inflammatory take. Listen, bro, I didn't watch Hunter x Hunter when I was younger. I didn't watch the first version of it like in the 90s. I didn't watch the remaster of it. So, like, for me to try to come back to watch it now.
And watch a show about two children.
Bro, Killua and Gon are they're like 9 and 10.
Gone.
Whatever,
you're
bro.
Gonna get
I remember the dinosaur from Tekken. That's the only Gon that I remember. So yeah, Gon and Killua are both literal children. I can't get invested. I'm sorry. I hear it's good though. It's respect, but it's just I'm gonna have to just miss that journey. I think.
I feel you, man.
It's too late. I missed the window for it.
Shonen, man. But this episode is all about one thing.
Yeah, man. Speaking of shonen, we got to put some respect on the
GOAT.
The GOAT, man.
We got to put some respect on the GOAT. Rest in peace to Akira Toriyama, man. Absolute legendary figure in our lives and people around our age and younger and older, and a guy who created, you know, a handful of things, not just Dragon Ball, but, you know, Chrono Trigger and Dragon Quest and
Dr. Slump.
You know what I mean? And but the thing that probably touched us and most of, you know, the people in our circle and our peers, of course, Dragon Ball Z, that whole world, those characters, that creation. It was big time gateway anime for a lot of people. And, you know, I just remember being a kid and me and my brother going through that whole weird thing where we were watching Dragon Ball and then you didn't see it for a while and then it was just Dragon Ball Z and then.
So let's break it down. So I was there for this. I remember it with great detail. Here's what happened. The first run of Dragon Ball, and I'm talking for a lot of folks that listen to this podcast are younger than us. This is years before Toonami.
Yes.
This was like 1995, bro. It used to come on WKBD, which for Detroiters was Channel 20.
And just random syndication.
Right. Random syndication. It was a part of the Saturday morning cartoon block for Channel 20, not Fox. It wasn't I think it was what the WB was before it got the Kids WB brand. I think it was before that. And they only had syndication rights for the first season, which technically was episodes 1 through 13. It was the beginning of Dragon Ball up until the very first time he turned into the Great Ape, the Ozoru, and then that was it. They stopped, and they would replay those same 13 episodes for a couple of seasons, and then we were like, "Yo, man, Dragon Ball is fucking cool, man!" Like a couple years later, all of a sudden, still before Toonami, bro. Before Toonami.
This is before Toonami came and aired it in order and made it more accessible for everybody.
Still before Toonami, Dragon Ball Z aired. And I can't remember the channel for Dragon Ball Z, but I'm pretty sure it was the same. I think it was also on channel 20 or whatever. But again, all of a sudden, Goku was an adult. He had a child.
And so
we had we are jumping from episode 13 of Dragon Ball to episode 1 of Dragon Ball Z. So that's like 60 episodes that we missed.
Bro, so when I was a kid, I remember me and my brother seeing Gohan first and thinking that he was Goku.
Right.
And then seeing Goku and being like,
huh?
What?
Why is he grown? Why is he because again, no context. He became a teenager at the end of Dragon Ball, but we did not see that. We had no context.
Bro, what?
And then so then this is the next part of the weirdness. I think by this time maybe Toonami had started. Or even I think they might have started playing Dragon Ball Z on Cartoon Network even before Toonami was a thing. It might have been like the first show that like launched Toonami maybe. But again, you know what? No, bro, they didn't. And I'm pretty sure Edmund's gonna have to help me out on this one. But I'm pretty sure it went as follows. It was on whatever syndication it was on before Toonami, and they would get up to the middle of the Namek arc, right? So they would go all the way through the Saiyan arc, and they would go to Namek. And it would be right as Goku was about to land.
Right.
They stopped. And they would start all the way back over from the beginning of the fucking episode 1 of Dragon Ball Z. And they did this for literally like 4 straight seasons.
Oh my god.
And it just would not go past when Goku lands. And I remember it was the reason why it was special is because I think when Toonami got the rights, again, at the time I didn't know any of the reason behind this, but they didn't have the dubbed rights. I think they did like the Funimation dub started because if you remember, the voices changed.
Yeah.
Vegeta's voice actor was different. Goku's voice actor I think was the same, and Gohan's voice actor was the same. But Frieza, Vegeta, Raccoon, a lot of the villains, the voice actors were different. And all of a sudden, it started going from the new shit. Because here's what me and Edmund used to do during that gap. Right, where we didn't have it would just go up to the end of to the middle of the Namek arc. We had the internet. We were some of the first little assholes on the internet. So we used to go to nigga right. We used to go to nigga GeoCities, nigga Angel Fire, fucking Dragon Ball Z Zone .angelfire nigga tripod / GeoCities, nigga fan made ass Dragon Ball sites. We saw all the pictures of Super Saiyan Goku. Man, we were like, bro, what the fuck?
Bro, we were printing pictures out, bringing them to school.
We didn't know what none of that shit was.
Making stuff up.
Bro, there was no translations. These young cats have no idea, bro. There was no translations. There was no subs. There was nothing. We just had clips.
And literally making things up to fill in
to make it make sense. Because I remember, because again, Dragon Ball Z might have already been over in Japan. Yeah. It was like 10 years behind in America. Like, so I mean, they were up to like the fucking.
They were probably
to like the Buu Saga by then. Because I remember seeing pictures of Super Saiyan 3 Goku like before we got any of the rest of the shit. I remember seeing all of that shit, bro. I think they might have started GT by then. Because I remember seeing seeing Super Saiyan 4 too. Man, I used to see
and people thinking it was fake and we didn't know if it was real or not. Yeah.
And I would, me and Edmund we had a little bit of privilege because we had access to the internet. That was like back in the 90s, that was like if you had the internet, nigga, like you used to go to your grandmother's house to use the internet. Like it wasn't a thing that you just had at your house. You'd have to like go to find the internet.
Public library.
Bruh. So like we laugh at it now, but like we used to go to school and niggas used to be talking about like Super Saiyan 100,
bro,
and just be making up crazy shit.
Stuff, bro.
And me and Evan
drawing pictures,
right?
Everybody's drawing Dragon Ball pictures.
We had a little bit of knowledge because we got on the GeoCities and seen what actually was gonna happen, and we was like, bro, look at these fucking dumbasses. They don't know what the fuck they talking about. So again, this was like, bro, I'm talking about like from elementary school until like high school, because they didn't start doing full Dragon Ball episodes. They didn't pick up from that Funimation arc until I was like in 8th or 9th grade. Like,
dang.
And I remember seeing for myself. By this time, I had already kind of put together through the manga a little bit, through like the images and like reading up on all of the shit that was translated into English. I kind of put together what was going to happen, but I hadn't seen any of it live.
Right.
So when because one of the first clips that I ever had was like, it took me like fucking an hour to download this little 15-second video of Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time.
Back in that time,
bruh,
downloading video,
bruh.
You download a video, you risk your computer blowing up,
bro. This little quick, you remember QuickTime dot movie dot move,
gosh.
Bruh, and it was a Goku. It was awful quality, dog.
The early days of the internet, man. Goodness.
Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time. I remember exactly. I remember the dub. I remember the original like voice acting, and everything. And I was just like, bro, like it's pretty fucking cool.
So let me ask you this, right? As you know, someone who is there at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember them possibly spoiling Goku turning Super Saiyan in the opening credits?
But see, here's the thing, bro. We didn't have any context of what that meant.
So, and it happens really fast.
And a lot of people didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't even notice it. They might have thought it was just like, oh, he powered up right quick. And then it like cuts away.
And then it cuts away.
But you don't have the context of it until...
Like, wait, what was that?
So, again, my experience is different because by then... They didn't use that intro until the Funimation arc started. So like it's hard to explain, right? So like by the time they started showing that intro in America, at large, most of the folks hadn't seen Super Saiyan yet. So I can imagine folks being like, "Oh, what was that?" but didn't have any context. For people like me and Edmund, we already knew what that was. And honestly, I don't even really think I noticed it. Even after I knew what it was, I don't think I paid it any attention until much later. Like, oh shit, he was turning Super Saiyan there. But had I recognized it, it wouldn't have been a spoiler because I had already spoiled it for myself like years ago. Right. Which is ironic since I'm like anti-spoiler now. But back then,
back then as a kid,
all of the information.
I need to know stuff before I even understand what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So finally, bro, they released all the episodes. And I think they went straight through, bro, because they did. Although they might have been another little pause where like they would get through the Frieza saga, and I don't know if they had rights to like the Cell saga yet. I can't really remember because I don't think I was watching it like all the way through at that point. But at some point they finally got it. Went all the way through to the end of the Buu saga. Fantastic. And then I don't know if they ever released the full Dragon Ball. I don't know if that ever came on TV.
Bro, I didn't see the full Dragon Ball until I got the DVDs. So bro, I didn't
even get the DVDs. I didn't see the full Dragon Ball until I had like Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was like 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah, like I literally didn't see it until I got the DVDs when I was in like getting out of college. So this is, I mean, it was still a long time ago, but I had to do like extracurricular
for sure
work to see it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The Funimation DVD set.
Now I was able to clear up some of the gaps though by using the internet and like figuring out what happened in between, like trying to figure out who Piccolo was and like, oh shit, like that was apparently that was the boss of the original Dragon Ball that we never saw.
There's like, man, I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of stuff going on that does not make sense. Yeah. Because you just don't have, we loved it, we watched it, but you flat out just didn't have the context for any of these characters or anything.
And the crazy part is, for as much as it was like, for us to like not have any context, the fact that we still loved it so much is just, it just goes to show
crazy
how impactful it was.
It was impactful. There was nothing out there like it at the time, man.
Because again, this wasn't my first experience with anime,
and that's the crazy thing, right? Because it wasn't mine either.
But it was my first experience with a shonen anime.
It was
that follow like that style of action, that style of storytelling,
and probably my first experience with a thing that you know, because when you're a kid, you watch whatever, right? And you like it, and you know you like it, and you tune into it, but you're not really conscious of viewing it in any type of order. You just watch it because you like it, right? You don't care that Doug is showing out of order, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. Dragon Ball may have been the first thing that I can remember where we needed to see it in order, and we desperately wanted to see it in order, right? And then like when the tapes and stuff were coming out, that was when me and my brother really, you know what I mean, started to get into it. Was when the tapes were coming out. And
you know what, now that you mention it, I don't think I had any of these tapes. I think Edmund's brother had some, but that's how cats were watching it before Toonami got the rights.
Tapes.
They would get the tape. I remember going to like Suncoast at Northland.
Suncoast, yes. Suncoast, Sam Goody had them too.
I don't think they were dubbed yet. I think they were subbed. And
they were subbed, and I had me and my brother had some, and I'll talk about, you know, some of the, because we only had like 4 tapes, so I just watched them over and over again. They were Dragon Ball Z, but you know the tapes were. They were dubbed. I don't think they were subbed yet either. And it was just, that was all we had, was those 4 tapes. And each tape, I think, only had 3 episodes on it.
What arcs was it?
So I remember we had a tape called Arrival, which was
Getting Dynamic.
Which was that was Raditz Coming. So that tape had a couple of those Raditz episodes. So just that
was episode 1, I think,
of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, so it was the fight with the Goku and Piccolo versus Raditz. So me and my brother used to run that back all the time. And then we had that tape. We had the Piccolo versus Frieza tape, which is one of the reasons why I love that fight so much. Watched that over and over and over and over again. Then we had Nappa coming and with Vegeta, and then Piccolo, Krillin, them fighting Nappa. And then we had Goku coming in and just just stomping one man stomping Nappa out too with the drop kick, with the Kenny Omega drop kick on top of the head.
He elbowed that nigga in the top of his head and turned his lights out, dog, immediately.
Awesome. But yeah, so those are the tapes that we had, man, and it was just good stuff, man. Excellent. But yeah, man, this episode is definitely just kind of remembering Dragon Ball Z, and just, you know, talking about the impact that this had on everybody, and we're just gonna literally just talk about our favorite Dragon Ball stuff, man. So shout out to Akira Toriyama. I literally since the day that I found out he passed away, I started Dragon Ball from the beginning. And I've just been watching Dragon Ball from the beginning, and I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish Dragon Ball Z. So that's what I've been doing. But so to get started, it's just gonna be an episode of just our top 5s, favorite things about Dragon Ball Z, man. If you are not in the Discord, these are conversations we have all the time in the Discord. So if you want to get in it, just shoot me you can comment on the YouTube channel. You can write me a message on Instagram, Twitter, and we'll get you an invite so you can get in there. But we'll get started, man. Top 5 favorite fights / moments in all of Dragon Ball. So this can be Dragon Ball Z, this can be Dragon Ball Super, this can be Dragon Ball, this can be Dragon Ball GT, this can be whatever What are your top 5 favorite fights / moments in Dragon Ball?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to be even with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So
Boom.
my number 5 is Goku versus Demon King Piccolo.
Nice.
You get to see, this is like the pinnacle of like baby Goku.
Facts.
Journey to the West, Son Goku, right? Like, as we all know, Dragon Ball is based on Journey to the West, which is a Chinese folk legend about the Monkey King Son Goku and his journey. Dragon Ball especially is like really, really heavily, especially like the first season of Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Because I even think characters like Korin and like
it's definitely 100% Journey to the West, and there's and one of the dope things about Dragon Ball, if people don't know, Akira Toriyama was making this up as he went. It wasn't one of those things like One Piece where it's like planned out forever.
The Saiyans weren't a thing until episode 1 of Dragon Ball Z.
Until episode 1 of Dragon Ball Z, which makes it even crazier.
Yes.
To think that it literally goes from a martial arts fantasy show to a sci-fi superhero.
It goes from like a wuxia martial arts fantasy to like a full-on like sci-fi fucking whatever the fuck.
Alien superheroes.
So much so like that's a thing that
crazy,
people don't
man.
realize is that like
So if you watch Dragon Ball with that knowledge, it makes it even better because it's almost like two completely different shows. You know what I mean,
bro? Listen, so much so that Dragon Ball Z episode 1 is almost like a retcon of Dragon Ball, of the original Dragon Ball, because like, and I went back when I started to watch Dragon Ball for the first time all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I went to episode 1 of Dragon Ball looking for Saiyan stuff.
Right.
Like, I was expecting to see him come out of like a Saiyan.
No, there's
that was not a thing.
And part of the genius too of, and creating something in this way, in this open style, there's going to be some like minor plot holes here and there and everything, things that aren't perfect, but it was kind of dope because there's just a lot of vagueness surrounding Goku's as a character, right? And nobody knows, he doesn't even know why he has a tail. It's just, he just kind of has one, you know what I mean? And it just leaves all that stuff open for when he does decide, you know what I mean, what he wants to do with it.
Well, I mean, the reason why he had a tail in Dragon Ball is because he was the Monkey King. Like that, he was based on the character Son Goku, so Son Wukong is I think is the Chinese pronunciation, and I think the Japanese name of that character is Son Goku.
Yeah.
He literally is named Son Goku, right? Like the reason why he had a tail is because he was based on the Monkey King. And then Toriyama, as he extended his story, explained away the tail by introducing an entire race of aliens that were all quote unquote Monkey Kings.
Dog.
Which is kind of clever. I mean, usually that shit doesn't work. Usually when you go back to like retcon something, it usually fucks everything up. But he hit a home run with this one.
Facts.
So Goku versus Piccolo, Demon King Piccolo, was excellent. You just got to see like that was like the limit of that was the pinnacle, maybe versus the Piccolo as we know, Piccolo Jr. is what he was called back then. That might be maybe slightly higher, but in terms of like kind of street level Dragon Ball action, that was like the highest level of it, which I really enjoyed. I would say my number 4, sticking in the Dragon Ball timeline, I'm gonna go with with Goku versus Mercenary Tao when he comes down from Korin Tower and absolutely beats the brakes off of Tao. Because up until this point,
he kills him. Doesn't he kick that? He kicks that grenade.
Yes, technically, but he technically doesn't die. He pops back up later.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I know
Goku he literally got on top of it.
Yeah, he was beating his ass, which is crazy. And I'll talk more about this when I talk about arcs. But like up until this point, Mercenary Tao is the only comp he's ever had. I guess you would, because I think his the first tournament where he fought against Jackie Chun / Roshi was before this, and obviously he loses to Roshi. But aside from that, this is the only time that he ever really took any damage. Like Goku used to just run through enemies.
Bro, he really did.
And and that was kind of the gag. It wasn't like in Dragon Ball Z where he had to like fight and get stronger and get his ass beat a little bit. Like part of the gag was, hey, I'm just this little innocent, super strong kid, and I just punched a hole in your robot, right? Like, hey, fucking, like that was like the comedy of it until he met Mercenary Tao. Because I think Tao was the only person who used a key move against him, that the Dodon Ray. And broke Tao's method of transportation is the hardest shit in the history. This nigga, he just threw a pillar and ran and jumped on it.
Ran and jumps on it.
And just flies.
Like a skateboard.
Yeah, he just flies on a pillar that he just tosses.
What a goofy bad guy.
Yeah. So, all right, that's my number 3, or number 4.
Tien punches him so hard in the third tournament.
Yeah, he punches his lights off. So then number 3 would be, so this is a fight / moment. Some people might think this is low, but I'm gonna have the first Super Saiyan transformation / Frieza fight. That was pretty fucking dope. Like that's quite possibly legendary. The most influential character transformation in the history of fiction.
Facts.
And like single-handedly birthed the whole shonen like cliche of character gets transformation. Like that, it started there. Speaking of shonen lineages, I saw this really kind of dope picture. I usually don't like shit like this, but this one it kind of got me a little bit. It was a play on the Naruto Big Three pictures where it had, or the Naruto like 3-man teams where like each previous generation had like a mentor that was from another team that had 3. So like it was a picture of Naruto and Sasuke sending off Deku and I think
that's fire.
Yeah, somebody like I forget. I think it was Deku and like who was it? Deku and Tanjiro and somebody else.
That's fire, man.
And so like their team was Naruto, what's the dude Ichigo and Luffy, whatever. Monkey D. Luffy, that's his name.
Luffy.
Whatever. I don't watch that shit, bro.
Me neither.
Who cares, nigga? The fucking stretchy guy. So that was their 3, and then the 3 that sent them off was Goku, Yasuke,
that's fire,
and Sailor Moon, bro.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, acceptable. I usually don't like shit like this. Not yet. Yusuke, you know what I mean.
Yusuke, I know what you meant.
Yusuke.
Yakusho.
So Yusuke,
Urameshi,
right? Goku and depending on the dub or the sub, it's either Usagi or Sabrina from Sailor Moon. Because I mean, in terms of like that era of, I would say that I don't know that I would call Sailor Moon a shonen necessarily, but definitely Yu Yu Hakusho is. And even though it came slightly after Dragon Ball, I would consider it a contemporary. But it kind of took the lead of, it was following the lead of Dragon Ball, but it was around the same time period, like early mid 90s.
Facts.
And Sailor Moon as well. So I thought that was kind of dope, passing of the torch. Okay, so then number 2 fight would be Goku versus Vegeta 1. So at the end of the Saiyan arc, after Goku effortlessly dispatches Nappa, and it's just Vegeta versus Goku. I said off mic, this is one of my favorite fights ever because it's the last time you see a Dragon Ball level fight, like a Dragon Ball style fight in terms of how it's drawn and how it's illustrated, how it's animated, where them niggas was really throwing hands.
Man. Hands.
They were fighting.
Hands and really cool little camera angles, man.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like a grenade, like a fucking, key blast grenade. It wasn't that. One of my least favorite Dragon Ball tropes is when like Vegeta does the thing where he like slides into the picture and shoots like a million little tiny. That shit that's not my favorite. But they weren't doing none of that shit. They would throw a beam every now and then, but it was like they were scrapping, bro.
That's what I like, man.
Scrapping.
That is what I love.
And this was when Goku had came back from King Kai. He was using the Kaioken. And he really was like,
oh my goodness, Kaioken was so cool, man.
It was such a
do you
cool.
Remember when he did that?
What was it, times 10?
Bro,
man,
come on, dog.
And Vegeta was
so
like,
cool.
yo. And then Yajirobe got a cheap shot off on Vegeta.
Yajirobe, man, sneaky.
Yeah, he was on deck.
Sneaky important character.
Facts.
And he had one of the best like character intros in Dragon Ball 2.
Facts.
When Goku eats his food,
Yeah.
eats his fish, and then they fight, and Yajirobe can actually scrap.
Yeah, he was good.
And then Piccolo, one of Demon King Piccolo's soldiers comes, and Yajirobe just fights him and kills him.
Yeah.
And then eats him. Puts my man's on the bar
on the grill, bro. Let's get it motherfucker. Let's go. Oh, so yeah, that's
awesome.
And one of my favorite lines in that scrap after Goku, it was sort of a stalemate, but I mean, you got to give Goku the victory because a nigga, Vegeta, that nigga got in his car and left. That nigga literally was like, "Hey, bro, like this shit is too intense for me."
This guy, man.
Because Krillin was about to kill him. Krillin had that. Didn't he have the Destructo Disc ready? Or did he use it to cut his tail off? I think he used it to cut the tail off.
Yajirobe cuts his tail off, doesn't he?
So I don't remember, but I know that both of those things happened. Yajirobe, I think what happens is that, correct us if we're wrong, Krillin uses the Destructo Disc to cut off the tail of Great Ape Vegeta. And then Yajirobe, out of nowhere, like just as Vegeta was already about to die, like as he was getting a second wind, Yajirobe comes out of nowhere and just like fucking slashes the shit out of his back. And then the reason why I remember that shit is because they showed him running away. It was like, he got the fuck out of there, bro.
You, bro. Yajirobe's got some moments in Dragon Ball.
That was definitely a moment.
There's some moments where he's literally the most important character.
That nigga showed up with a sensu bean and a critical hit, dog.
Bro, and in Dragon Ball.
Right.
Yajirobe respect thread. and in Dragon Ball, he after Goku fights Demon King Piccolo for that first time and he almost dies, Yajirobe saves him and carries him. Remember, he climbs Korin Tower with him and takes him up there. And then after Goku beats Demon King Piccolo, he like is free falling out of the sky and Yajirobe catches him.
Yeah, man. Yajirobe be showing up in the clutch and getting critical hits off at the last second.
Dog, and then running his mouth afterwards.
Right. And then running away. They did like the Looney Tunes ass, like, they got the fuck out of there, bro. But one of my favorite things about that fight is what Goku says so haphazardly before that happens, where they do like the Gallic Gun Kamehameha standoff. That nigga Goku looked up and said, damn. He might be off my he might be off my beam by now. He was in space.
Blasted him to space.
He said, wow, he must be off my beam by now. Like, damn. Brutal.
Oh man, excellent.
Yeah, so that's I can't wait to watch that whole arc again. And then number one, I've talked about this before, Perfect Cell versus Gohan.
Yep.
As you pointed out, the fight is pretty short, but the moment where he's just fucking downgrading Cell by way of just like socking the upgrades out that nigga. Dog, listen to this shit, bro.
Hilarious.
He only had 2 punches in me. Contact! So why am I so damaged?
can't believe what's happening, bro. He got the fucking upgrades knocked out his ass.
Why so?
That nigga was getting destroyed.
Oh my goodness, man.
That's probably the worst, like
Jeez.
two or three hit piece in the history of Dragon Ball. Like,
Bro.
just every single one. Can you imagine like his health bar? Seeing the health bar if it's a fighting game. That shit is just a giant chunk of wreck. My favorite is the one where it just like
goodness,
it's a
man.
big like slice of red that comes off and it just like falls off the screen. Oh
Goodness,
man. Yeah, that's my top 5 fights. Piccolo, Goku Piccolo 1, Goku Mercenary Tao, Goku Frieza, Goku Vegeta, and Perfect Cell Gohan.
Boom. Fire, man. Oh man, so good. All right, let's go. My top 5 favorite moments, fights, so many that I love, man. And I could sit here and just talk about a ton of honorable mentions forever. We're just gonna get into it. Number 5, man. Goku versus Tien, the rematch from the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai tournament, man. So, the first time they fought was the 22nd. That was the second tournament in the show, and that was when Goku actually. That's when Tien actually wins the tournament. This was when. This was the one that happened in the 23rd tournament. This is when they came back and they were older. And this fight, bro, this fight is so good. It's got, like you said, we talked about earlier. Just the animation, man, and the way that it was about the hands and the martial arts. Yeah. This was also I love Tien, man. This is also one of the first fights, maybe the first fight really that kind of introduced the weighted clothing trope. You know what I mean? Which is kind of something that Dragon Ball really kind of created, and you see it everywhere now. But
Piccolo with the weighted do-rag.
Yeah, man. So in this fight, they both fight kind of to a stalemate at first, and then Goku is kind of like, I'm faster than this, you know what I'm saying? And he starts removing his clothes, and he takes his shirt off, and it smashes on the ground, and everybody's like, what? You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, what? And then he takes his shoes off, and then he just starts moving super fast. It's dope. This fight is really good. And this is also, this was at a time where, if you watch the original Dragon Ball, I love Krillin, but sometimes I feel like Tien was better kind of rival best friend character for Goku, man, and because he actually
rival for sure, best friend I don't think so.
Just from the standpoint of he actually beat Goku once, you know what I mean? So there was kind of that real, just from a competitive standpoint, I love Krillin, but Krillin was never a threat to Goku. Their fight that they had is awesome in the 22nd tournament. Yeah. But Krillin never, could threaten Goku like that. And at this point in time, man, before Tien was an actual threat to him. But this fight is really dope.
Bro, I think the only reason why Krillin gets credit for being the strongest human is because Tien is technically a mutant.
That could be why.
But Tien has always been stronger.
Bro, Tien had a run in this show where he was just a
menace, dog. Tien almost beat Trunks, dog.
Yeah, and Trunks had to turn Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he had to cheat to win.
In that BoJack movie.
And Trunks, and it ain't like he whooped his ass like easily after that. Like he won, but Trunks was in that nigga's ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all want me to say pause, but I'm not because I'm grown. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not doing that shit.
I love Tien. But yeah, this fight is awesome. Again, it was just kind of that whole weighted clothing thing and Goku being super fast. Yeah. This fight is really dope. So my number 5 is Goku versus Tien from the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. My number 4, another Tien fight, Yamcha versus Tien from the 22nd tournament. Bruh, this when Dragon Ball was martial arts, man. This fight again. is really dope. This was, I cape for Yamcha all the time, man. Before he became a joke, Yamcha was really dope, man. In Dragon Ball, Wolfang Fist. This fight is really dope. This was when Tien was he's the villain of this arc, and he was just this. He was just a jerk, man, from the Crane Hermit School, and he was just being mean to everybody, and Yamcha was kind of the first guy to stand up to him, and they get matched up in the tournament, and this fight is so dope, man. The choreography is fire, the animation is fire, and then this is where Tien breaks Yamcha's leg, and it's just such a good fight, bro. This fight is awesome. That was one of my favorite rivalries around this time in Dragon Ball, and this fight is so dope, man. Again, the animation, the Yamcha just being a good character, man. I can't believe they turned him into a complete joke. And again, Tien, one of my favorite characters, absolute monster in this arc, man. The 22nd tournament arc, he was on fire. He was such a good villain in this arc. So shout out to Tien. This fight's just so good. My number 3, Goku vs Piccolo, man. The final Dragon Ball fight from the 23rd tournament. This is one of the best anime fights of all time. This fight is amazing.
It is.
Goku and Piccolo, man. It's just, this is where Goku hits him. This fight is awesome, man. And it was a incredible way to send the show into Dragon Ball Z. And this is, again, just when Goku goes from being a kid, man, and then, they're all older in this tournament. This was the beginning of the Goku that we see, in Z. You know what I mean? This was the start of that. The look, the power, man. This fight is awesome. This is where we see, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is where Goku flies for the first time. Where you see a character just straight up fly. You know what I'm saying? Normally when they're in the air, they're supposed to be like doing more of a floating type of thing.
I've actually not seen that yet. I'm looking forward to seeing that for the first time, because I know that's
oh my goodness,
that's a technique that that very few people have.
Yeah,
that's like when you master that technique, you are entering into like superhuman type shit, obviously.
Yeah,
but like even in that world,
right? It could, and this is Goku, coming off the training with Kami and Mr. Popo, so he's just ahead of everybody, and this fight is really dope, man. So can't say enough about it. You see a lot of crazy techniques. This was again kind of proof that Toriyama was just kind of just brainstorming and just coming up with these ideas as it goes, because you find these examples where there's these super elaborate fights with this sick choreography, but guys are using techniques that you will never see ever again. You know what I'm saying? But Piccolo turns into a giant in this fight. You know what I mean? And then
you see him
Goku slams him still when he's like 10 feet tall. It's awesome, man. This probably bigger, honestly. He was huge, and Goku still slams him. It's so good, man. This fight's awesome. My number 2, Piccolo's my favorite character, man. Piccolo versus Android 17. This fight, you know what? I'm honestly gonna just group it together just as a moment, as Piccolo going from having that master plan, right? Trying to kill Imperfect Cell before he could absorb the androids. Imperfect Cell gets away, and then Piccolo's like, all right, I'm just about to go fight Android 17. Yeah, and then he just goes right to Android 17, and they have one of the best fights in the history of Dragon Ball. Man, so good. And again, Piccolo's my favorite character, and he was Toriyama's favorite character as well. And you can tell when Piccolo gets his moments, they're so good and they're so well done. He's got some of the best like animated and choreographed moments in all of Dragon Ball. So you can tell, he did, even though he wasn't, front and center, when he did get his moments, they are some of the best moments in the show and highest quality animated too.
I think he also has the best entrance ever. And I think the BoJack movie, is that the one where he
It might be.
where he like, I can't even describe what happens.
Are you talking about? I might be Cooler. I know he has a good interest in the Cooler movie.
No, I think it's the BoJack
It
movie.
might be the BoJack movie.
I'm focused on the future.
Come on, Biden, move out
I'm
the way.
lowering drug prices. Getting more people
He sounds so old, though.
defending our
I mean,
basic
he's
rights like the right to
2,000 years
choose.
old.
We're pushing past Trump's grievances and building a better future.
Move.
Nah, why does everyone think they in the edit? Because the pull-up just sitting in the...
I thought this. I don't want to hear your.
Don't want to hear your spill.
Yeah.
But yeah, Piccolo versus Android 17, going from fighting Imperfect Cell to fighting Android 17. Then when Piccolo powers up against Imperfect Cell, man, oh my goodness, so dope. It's so good. And then the fight takes off his turban, that mug crushes a boulder when he fights Android 17. And their fight's so good. And then my number one, my favorite fight moment in all of Dragon Ball, man, Piccolo versus Frieza, man, on Namek. This, when I was a kid, me and my brother had this tape, so I just ran this fight so much. I literally, I just know it frame for frame. It was just my favorite moment. Piccolo showing up, just racing to get there to save Gohan, man, then gets there, and my man fights Frieza straight up one-on-one. Beats him into
level 2 Frieza.
Yeah,
I think,
beats him into making a transformation, and then just the fight is so dope. And this was it's so intense, man. It feels like such a huge moment. And Piccolo was he was in there throwing blows with Frieza, man. Like this fight is really good. It's intense. The soundtrack is dope. Piccolo does some really dope techniques too, man, and just and like he fought Frieza for a long time, man, because he, even when Goku gets there, he's still helping out. You know what I'm saying? Like he still helps him out for a minute. So this was just the ultimate Piccolo moment for me in this show. Not only him coming to save Gohan, as we've seen him do so many times, but just, man, like this moment in this fight is so good. It's my favorite in all of Dragon Ball, Piccolo versus Frieza. On Namek, this fight's amazing. Piccolo saving Gohan, that's my number one, man. So my number 5, Goku versus Tien from the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai Tournament. That fight, amazing. The speed, the animation, so good. Number 4, Yamcha versus Tien from the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai Tournament. Number 3, Goku versus Piccolo from the 23rd Tournament. Number 2, Piccolo versus Android 17. And number 1, Piccolo versus Frieza on Namek, man. So good. All right. The next top 5 is going to be our top 5 favorite characters. But before we move on to that, give me a Dragon Ball hot take that you have.
Well, I got 2. I said one of them before. I think Dragon Ball is better than Dragon Ball Z, personally.
Hey, man, when I watch these shows, right, I just love the simplicity and I love the setup of Dragon Ball. It's so good. It's so fun. It's so easy to watch. It's just like adventure, training, tournament, boom.
Or big fight.
Yeah, adventure. Then there's 3 years for the next tournament, boom, tournament. Tournaments are always amazing. They're so good. And it's just like,
you know what though? I actually am. So in the time that they were available in Dragon Ball, I love tournaments, but I'm kind of tired of tournaments now as a plot device. Because here's the reason why tournaments exist. I think that manga writers have a hard
good to get.
No, here's what it is. I think it's. You're gonna say the same thing I'm gonna say, I think, but I'm more pessimistic with it. I think that tournaments are a lazy way for manga writers to explore or to show the powers of other side characters. And it's like, bro, like I get it, but also like it was a great idea in 1986, right? But like every shonen can't have a tournament arc.
Right.
Except they all have.
They all have.
It's like, come on, dog, let's do something else.
And not only does it do that, but it also kind of gives them, they take up time, you know what I mean? And you can do a lot of things with the tournament
100%.
arc, you know what I mean? You can,
it's like it's a cheap, I shouldn't say, let me be a little bit, it's a very clear cut way to get to some sweet fights and to show off the other characters.
Sweet fights, show off the other characters. Most importantly, eat up chapters and time. Yeah. And like you said, you can develop not only your main character, but you can develop all the characters around them through this one lens of a tournament. You know what I mean? So anyways,
at the time, during this time, because I think Dragon Ball, I'm pretty sure that Dragon Ball's tournaments took place way before the Dark Tournament and Yu Yu Hakusho. I think because Yu Yu Hakusho
Dark Tournament, fire.
Yeah, obviously it's a legendary arc. I think Yu Yu Hakusho was like early 90s, and I think Dragon Ball, these arcs were like in the late 80s. So I think it's all good. But so in my opinion, I think Dragon Ball, just from start to finish, is a better, more complete story, and just a funner ride in my opinion than Dragon Ball Z. Although it is close, this is not like a super scathing hot take where I'm saying Dragon Ball Z is trash. Definitely not. I don't like the Buu saga. I think Dragon Ball up to Dragon Ball Z,
I would say that like
up to Cell Saga.
I think that from the 23rd tournament all the way through to the Cell Saga, with the exception of that random, isn't it like a garlic saga in there somewhere? I think so in Dragon Ball Z.
If it is, it's a filler arc. It's not.
But
canon.
That run is amazing. It's from that 23rd tournament all the way to.
I don't even think there's any reason to. Are you just using 23rd because that's like adult Goku?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, even all the stuff before that, I think is also
excellent. Yeah, but just like the 23rd is when you can see it turning into Dragon Ball Z, sure. Right? And just going from that all the way to that Cell arc is top tier.
I mean, the rumor is that Dragon Ball was supposed to end after the Cell Saga, and if that's true, I don't think that's been confirmed. But if it's true, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see how the energy was a little bit less refined, I think, in Dragon Ball, because they went a lot. I did like the Majin Vegeta piece. I thought that was kind of cool. That they turned that into a nice moment. But some of the rest of that arc was a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Buu saga.
Yeah,
I know some people are, but I'm not.
I think most people agree that it's one of the weakest, but I think a lot of people love the Majin Vegeta part of it.
Yeah, they do.
Dope. I mean, because I think a lot of people who are Gohan fans just kind of felt like, what is Gohan sweet or weak? Because you couldn't really tell,
right? Which one is it?
Because he looked like he was finna beat a man, but then all of a sudden he wasn't. And they had to kind of like, they unlocked his power and he was technically the strongest person ever. And then they had to kind of like sort of ass pull him out of the equation so that Goku could come back and get the dub. It's like, all right, like what are we doing here? Facts. Anyways, so I guess it's not a hot take that the Buu saga wasn't that good. My last hot take is that I actually think Dragon Ball GT is not that bad. I think Dragon Ball
my
GT
son would agree with you. Jaylus loves Dragon Ball GT. I think
Super Dragon Ball GT is flat out better than Dragon Ball Super. Like,
I agree, man. These are not bad. These aren't bad hot takes. I agree.
It was
every single one.
Kind of interesting, right? The baby saga, right? Like the truffles, the people who the Saiyans. I think they made them go extinct. I think that was the original. I think they were the original inhabitants of the Saiyan planet, which I think was not called Planet Vegeta at first. I think it was called Planet Salad or Salada or something like that. And I think the baby arc is like I think it's like a genetically engineered organism that was created by those people to get revenge on the Saiyans. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that the fighting fucking Shenron, like what better final boss than the goddamn actual dragon, right? With the
Bro,
black star.
speaking of the dragon, how ridiculously savage was it that Demon King Piccolo killed Shinron, bro? When he in Dragon Ball, when Demon King Piccolo comes to Earth and he gets out of the evil containment wave thing that he was trapped in. This dude, they get the Dragon Balls. He wishes for like eternal youth, right, to get younger. The dragon grants his wish, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, one last thing," and then he just blasts Shinron and just kills him. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yes, that was ridiculous.
Crazy.
But because of plot issues, he immediately is not dead.
Well, Goku. I mean, it is still, convenient, but Goku goes to see Kami, and Kami, who is the Earth's guardian at the time, resurrects Shinron, and the Dragon Balls come back. And that's how they bring back...
this is what we call an ass pull.
Right. And that's how they bring back all the characters that got killed by
Krillin's
him.
first death.
Krillin's first death was completely unexpected. Bro, they just have the tournament. Tien beats Goku, and then
wait, hold on, because some of this stuff I haven't seen.
Oh, my
years.
bad. Okay.
I mean, I generally know what happens, but I haven't seen some of it.
I know what it's like when you haven't seen something in a long time. It's like seeing it for the first time.
I just kind of want to relive some of that stuff.
Ruin it for you. It's excellent. I'll say that.
I remember it being good.
It's excellent, and Krillin's first death is heartbreaking because when I say it's out of nowhere and it's like the worst case scenario that you just don't expect, it is the worst case scenario that you don't expect, man. It's nuts. But yeah, so a Dragon Ball hot take that I have. I think that Imperfect Cell's design was better than Perfect Cell's design. And it was scarier, and I think he was a lot more weirder and more alien, and his voice was creepier.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought he was just... I loved his...
I thought you were talking about near Perfect Cell.
No. Not when he was fucking the super heavyweight.
The goddamn Jigaboo Cell, dog. You know what I'm fucking talking about? This nigga. Hell nah, bro. Shout out to Toriyama, but he used to be tripping with this shit, dog. That's what he looked like.
This is a Jigaboo Cell.
Dog.
Dog, what is wrong with you?
What you mean?
Oh my goodness. Anyway,
yes, Goku, I'm gonna get you.
Yes. Magical Negro Cell.
Dog, that's hilarious.
Magical Negro Cell.
Dog.
Oh man. Woo.
Funny.
But Imperfect Cell.
Yes, I agree. Imperfect Cell is creepy.
I liked his design better, and he was mad creepy, especially when he first shows up. Just scary, unsettling. Like that design better than Perfect Cell. But let's go. Our next top 5, paying our homage to Akira Toriyama, the GOAT, and Dragon Ball, the greatest gateway anime of all time. And I think that Dragon Ball is in a similar way that I'm by no means am I saying these two are on the same scale, but we talk about Afro Samurai in a way where it's both overrated and underrated at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. Like overrated by some people who haven't seen a lot of anime, but also underrated by anime heads.
Yeah.
Because it's excellent.
It is good.
And it is, for what it is, it's like perfect.
Yeah.
I think you can say the same thing about Dragon Ball, man, because I do think that a lot of people who are big anime fans or anime snobs, right, they discredit it because it's a gateway anime.
Which is stupid,
But
because
which is
like,
dumb because
anybody younger than us, like you and I, are at that age where there were some avenues to being introduced to anime before Dragon Ball was a cultural phenomenon. For me, it was Akira.
Right. Ninja Scroll, unfortunately.
Ninja Scroll as well, right? Like I watched both of those movies before I even really understood the concept of anime. With the folks that are like younger than us, like you'd have to really show me on paper how Dragon Ball Z specifically wasn't your gateway anime.
Right.
Like it was the one that opened it up to the mainstream. And most people who are younger than us and are really into anime in America had that experience. Now, I do think now the younger kids, like Gen Z and younger, I think for them Dragon Ball Z might have already been old school. So like they could have gotten, I think Naruto might be their gateway.
Yeah, because that was out in like early 2000s.
Right. But for cats, like it's just really dumb. Like you can outgrow something. Like we talk about it all the time here.
Yeah,
like
outgrowing shonen.
We've outgrown shonen, but I'm not gonna pretend like it wasn't super influential and didn't like inform and influence me in ways that will never be undone. Right? Like I'm always gonna have a soft spot for it.
Facts.
But I recognize that for my taste now, it doesn't always meet my needs. Right? And that's fine. Like I just wish people would be more honest about. Like Dragon Ball Z is not, like, don't just do the thing where it's like, oh man, Dragon Ball Z is actually kind of like, nah, that shit wasn't trash.
Bro,
that shit was sweet as fuck.
It's a classic. It was sweet.
Right, that shit was sweet as fuck. If you've outgrown it now, that's perfectly fine. I probably have too.
Right, but we're not gonna say it was trash.
We're not finna go back and say this shit was weak. It wasn't.
It was not.
That shit was sweet as fuck.
It's classic.
It was doing shit that your favorite anime
is doing right now.
Right, and doing it better probably. Right,
and it still was probably doing it better.
Right.
I mean, we just talked about off air about Kid Goku, maybe the best shonen protagonist ever. Just all the good stuff you want, pure of heart, strong, you know what I mean? Not whiny, you know, not gonna try to reason with a psycho bad guy, you know what I'm saying? Now, you know, he's a little different. He'll offer a sensu bean to a mass murderer, but you know what I'm saying? At this time, he was not doing those things. But yeah, top 5 favorite Dragon Ball characters of all time. What do you got, sir?
All right, favorite characters of all time. I'm gonna go through this list quick because I think we've done this before, and
we've kind of touched on just about all of these.
I think my list might have changed a little bit. I know the order changed a little bit, but I think it's mostly the same. So. No honorable mentions. Number 5, though, I'm going to go with Trunks, specifically Future Trunks.
Boom. The no-nonsense the no-nonsense saying.
Yeah, nigga just...
This him right here, dead.
Yeah, nah, you talking about this nigga? Oh, cool. Nigga just... Where's my sword? Slice that nigga into fucking...
chili meat.
Into literal minced meat, dog. And then blasted that nigga.
And then blasted him. Turned the grill on him. Bro.
Nigga, Vegeta said, what the... Because you got to understand, bro. Vegeta was traumatized from that shit,
He was
bro.
traumatized.
You know, Goku, I think it had been... How long was Goku on with messing around with the Yardots or whatever? A couple of years, probably?
Yeah.
And so Goku was Goku literally had the fight of his life and had to transform into some shit that niggas hadn't
ever seen
in hundreds of years,
bro.
And he was beating the dog shit out of Frieza at first, but you know they had to make it close, so Frieza got some hits in.
So Frieza beat him up for about 25 episodes.
Right. Speaking of Goku, do you remember when Goku tried to say, all right, he's had enough? And then Frieza said, bitch. And Goku turned around and was like, bitch, I told you to chill out. Blasted that nigga into smithereens. Left his ass. But you got to understand, bro, like Goku had it up to here. He had gone through the fight of his life. Vegeta died. He was flat out killed by this nigga.
Vegeta tried to run away.
Yeah. And then Vegeta called his biggest op over and was like, hey, bro, you got to do it for the culture. I don't fuck with you, nigga, but you got to kill this nigga, dog. Like, This nigga been oppressing us oppressing us for centuries. You have to do something about this shit.
You gotta
and then died.
Vegeta, man. What
Wait
are
a
we
minute.
do with you, dog?
Actually, did he die or did he end up? No, he did die.
Who?
Didn't Vegeta die?
Yes.
Yeah, because he went to hell.
He died.
So, anyways, so like Vegeta traumatized. You know what I'm saying?
Traumatized,
right? Bulma, Piccolo, like nigga. Who you said who was back? Frieza.
Dog.
Up until this point,
It's over for everybody.
Bro, it's like when remember I said when I was little. When Apocalypse showed up in X-Men, I was like, bro, they cannot beat him, bro. It's done. It's a wrap. I have no idea how they can possibly win.
Oh my god.
That's what they were thinking, and then Trunks just showed up and said, you talking about this nigga? Shit.
Dog. Here you go. Chili.
Right. Slice that nigga to death. Listen, the murder of Frieza was a thing that popped up on his mission. He didn't even come here for that shit.
Dog.
He came to deliver a more important message of nigga, Goku got to stop eating all that red meat and get his cholesterol down before he have a heart attack. Here goes some medicine, nigga. Take this shit.
Dog.
It is hilarious that Goku, strong as hell, nigga, died from
Dog,
cardiac
eating
arrest.
McDonald's.
They eating too many. That nigga eat too many dinosaur tails, dog. You know Goku is a sucker for beating a dinosaur over the head with something and cutting his tail off and get to roasting that nigga.
Eating that mug. God,
So
man was eating too much. Eat too much prehistoric monster meat.
That nigga said, Trunks, say you got chill, bro. Here goes some heart medicine, dog. So, he's not like you're fat. Like, I don't know.
You just be
eating all that.
Can't eat ribs and bacon every day. God dang.
Right. So, anyways, Trunks just came and happened to just, because Frieza just so happened to be in his way, sliced that nigga into ribbons and delivered his message. And then Piccolo hilariously is eavesdropping the whole time. He said,
"Oh my god!"
Piccolo said, "You said who is your daddy? Who is your mom?
Who's your who?" And then he kind of kept it to himself.
He did, because I think he was talking only to Goku, right, when he explained it. And then Goku's dumbass like almost ruined it like several times. Funny. Anyways, so yeah, that whole little. Man. Technically, that wasn't a filler episode, but it was like in between arcs. But yeah,
they're your clothes. I got them out of your wife's closet.
Oh, is that when he was driving? The
hilarious.
The driver's license episode. Yeah. That's like that's the most classic example of a filler episode in anime history.
And it's like it's like you can't skip it because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. So funny. It's so funny how they interact with regular humans.
Right.
Like,
that nigga Piccolo was driving so well.
Dog, there's this episode of Dragon Ball, and it's right when Demon King Piccolo takes over and all the criminals and stuff are loose because he wants chaos, as the natural order. And these guys come to Master Roshi's house and they have guns and it's just like when you see the Z fighters against regular people, this dude pulls out a machine gun and shoots Yamcha at point blank range, and Yamcha just dodges every single bullet and just beats the crap out of everybody. Yeah. It's so funny.
All right. So number 4 I'll talk about very briefly is Gohan. He used to be higher on my list. He might end up being higher because Toriyama finally remembered that he existed. And gave him some stuff. Got a nice little.
Bro, that transformation in the new movie was awesome.
According to the current canon, I believe that Gohan at present is the most powerful person in Dragon Ball. I believe, and it's so he's like slightly. So I think Piccolo is in a similar tier as like Alter Instinct Goku and like whatever the fuck version of like God Key Vegeta or whatever. The orange Piccolo is in the similar tier as them, and then Broly is like slightly higher tier than than that group, and then Beast, I think they call it Beast Gohan, is a slightly higher tier than Broly. I think I saw that written down somewhere. I don't know if it was official or not, but that's what they're saying. Shout out to Gohan. Speaking of Broly number 3. I've always been fascinated with Broly, bro. Even back in the day, like again in those early internet days, I remember hearing about the legendary Super Saiyan, and the I think the rumor was that he had an infinite power level.
Dog.
And we were like, bro, you can't beat that nigga. That nigga's the best. And I would always pull out Broly as my trump card. Nope, can't beat him. got an infinite power level. What you mean? Can't beat him.
That's the end of
He's the strongest.
No more.
I think they read the way that they explained it. It was one of those weird translation things where they say that his power has no upper limit, and we interpreted that as like, oh, so that means he's infinitely powerful, which is not exactly the same thing. But I've always been a huge fan of Broly, and I love the face turn from Broly now in like the current current canon.
His dad was such a jerk.
Yeah.
Come on, Broly.
Right.
Dog.
I was worried because of how much I love Broly, and I think
his new look is awesome too, with the thing tied around his waist.
I like it. I don't hate it. Sorry, I more than just don't hate it. I like it. I slightly like the original one a little bit better because it looked a little bit more like regal. He looked like a king almost, which was kind of cool. This one is like ragged and kind of like kind of rough and tumble, which is still cool. But I just like the character, the new version of the character. I thought I was gonna be worried about because of how much I love Broly, but I love the new direction they're going with him because it looks like they're gonna turn him into like a Z fighter, which I couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Right.
Let's do.
I told you, man. We need a Broly solo movie, right? We need a movie where Vegeta and we need a movie where Vegeta and Goku are gone training with Whis and Beerus, and Jiren comes to Earth, and Goku's not there, so Broly has to step up and protect Earth against Jiren. What?
Yeah. Broly and
heavyweight showdown.
Broly, Gohan, and Piccolo.
Bruh, be awesome.
That'd be hard.
Would love that.
And then so I'm gonna actually skip to number 1, and I'll get to number 2 in a second. So number 1 is Vegeta. Obviously, that hasn't changed. One of the best experience. One of the best.
The Prince of Old Saiyans. I had to do it.
Yeah. One of the best character arc evolutions in the history of anime.
Goodness, what a freaking jerk at the beginning, man. God, I mean, couldn't stand him.
Yeah. It turns into the Deuteronomist or whatever. We've never figured out how to pronounce that.
Out how to say that word. Let's not start.
Deuteragonist.
Let's just keep saying it wrong.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so we've talked about him at length. He's excellent. But number 2 / kind of number 1B sort of is Goku, but specifically Kid Goku through like teenage years. The version of Goku that we see in Dragon Ball up through like the Saiyan saga is just like you said, man, like the prototypical perfect shonen hero.
Dog,
just so good, funny, pure-hearted, hardworking, like likable. Like he's not like a jerk. He's not like awkward or weird or anything. Like he's just like a fucking cool ass kid, man.
Facts.
And he's great and lovable and all this good stuff. Like he's just, especially in Dragon Ball, man, he just makes you like, hey man, this is like a fun ass like
dog. It's
just a fun ass adventure, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, Dragon Ball is so watchable right now. It's 100%. Just so it's just.
I think it's more watchable now as an adult because like I think I get it's cheesy and corny and lovey dovey sometimes, but I think I have more layers now to appreciate that more than I would have when I was a kid.
Yeah, same.
Or when I was like a teenager. I don't think I would have liked it when I was a teenager, but now as an adult, you peel the layers back and like, yo, man, like that's kind of nice. That's cute, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with having a moment where it's like, you know what, that was pretty cute, and that's fine.
Right.
So yeah, that's my top 5.
Boom. All right, man. Let's go. I'll be quick with mine too. Top 5 favorite Dragon Ball characters. Starting off at number 5. I gotta go with my guy, man. He fell very far down the ladder of cool Dragon Ball characters, but my number 5 is gonna be my guy Yamcha.
Yeah.
Yamcha, man. The Desert Bandits. Wolf Fang Fist, man. Just was such a dope character. One of my favorite character designs in Dragon Ball. He always looked so cool, man. That first Tenkaichi Budokai tournament where he was wearing the headband. He just looked dope. Just always unlucky, man. He always was getting the best fighter in his like first fight. I remember the first tournament he has to fight Jackie Chun, who's freaking Master Roshi. And then in the second tournament he fights Tien, and then in the third tournament his first fight is against Hero, who is Kami, you know what I'm saying, disguised as in a human's body. So it's like he just kept getting the toughest draw. But man, Yamcha was really dope, and he was like when he was committed to martial arts, he was one of the coolest characters in the show, man. So I love Yamcha. Shout out to Yamcha.
Yep.
Number 4, I'm gonna go with my guy Future Trunks. One of the best designs in all of Dragon Ball, man. Again, the best no nonsense character, man. Trunks is getting the job done. He's from a dark, his timeline is extremely dark, so he's seen a lot of death, and he has no time for games, man.
No time for the bullshit.
My guy, bro. The most satisfying thing is when he goes back to his time and kills the androids in Cell in like 5 seconds. And a beater. He just has a beater on.
Facts.
Future Trunks, man. One of the best character designs. Just an awesome character, man. Just one of the coolest characters in all of Dragon Ball. Always loved Future Trunks. Obviously the moment against Frieza is one of the best moments in the show. Definitely one of the best moments in the show. Him kind of, maybe not the full achievement, but he was kind of the first one who kind of touched Super Saiyan 2. You know what I mean? But remember, he did it wrong. He did it wrong, and he was kind of too slow,
too bulky.
Yeah, but he was kind of on that path before everybody else. Then he has some dope moments in BoJack Unbound too, man. In that tournament, he flat out kills my man. He just punches a hole in his stomach. But yeah, Future Trunks, that's my guy. Again, one of the best designs. Really dope. Number 3, Goku, man.
Hey,
especially after rewatching. I love Goku, man. It's so easy. He's so easy to like, man.
Yes.
Especially when you're watching the early Dragon Ball. Again, just this pure, innocent character. That he's a protector of the people he cares about, and just when it was about martial arts, man, this dude he was just a dope character, man. I love when he comes back for the 23rd tournament after the little time skip, and he's grown, and he's got the Kami outfit on, he has the turban on his head. He's just, man, he's just a good character, man. Goku was really dope before, he became kind of this really, really stupid person in Dragon Ball Super. But Goku, man, just the original, just like shonen superhero kind of character, and he was just perfect, man. As I said earlier, before things went wherever they went. But I will say, he's done, Goku made some sacrifices, man. He sacrificed himself to beat Raditz, did the same thing against Cell. He's pure of heart, man, and Goku is a really dope character. And again, if you're watching Dragon Ball if you watch the series from the very beginning, he is just very easy to like, man. It's a really good character, man. Shout out to Goku. Number 2, Tien Shinhan, man. I love Tien. And when Tien first showed up in Dragon Ball, I told you, man, he was an absolute menace in that 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. And I love his arc, man, where he goes from being the villain to Master Roshi kind of, you know, getting through to him that his master was just kind of evil, and that Tien was a pure martial artist, and he was better than that. And he kind of, you know, has the face turn at the end of his fight with Goku, and then they have that mutual respect there. And then he really flat out becomes, you know, a hero, man. In the Demon Piccolo arc, he kind of
hold on, wait, let's
yeah, my
skip
bad.
over that.
All right, so anyway, Tien's a dope character, man. Has an excellent, just full character arc, man. He was before we had Piccolo and before we had Vegeta. Tien was that guy that went through that full character change. You know what I'm saying? In Dragon Ball, and I love Tien, man. He's got some of the best techniques.
He's got some of the most creative,
yes, he does
ever.
And he's one of the dopest fighters, man. He's got some of my favorites. We just talked about our favorite fights. He was in. I had him in 2 of my favorite fights and my top 5, and he's just he's dope, man. I really love Tien. He's my second favorite character. One of the coolest designs too. What is Chaozu? Bro, when Chaozu and Krillin first meet each other and they just have instant beef on sight, it's so funny. He's just bald.
I got no idea.
Dog. Oh my goodness, hilarious. And you know what? We never found out what exactly Chaozu is.
They started leaving that nigga at the crib.
Dog.
He was too trash.
I didn't bring Chaozu or Yamcha. These guys are too dangerous for them. Goodness,
That's
when he shows up
horrifying,
in Resurrection F, when he shows up and he just drops that bar unprompted.
Nobody asked
anything.
Huh? You said what? Oh yeah, no, I didn't bring them niggas.
Nobody asked. That was he didn't say, "Hey guys, I'm here." That was the first thing that came out of his mouth when he touched down.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, whoops, nah. You said what happened? Oh, no. I ain't bring them niggas. I ain't bring them weak ass niggas. Why? Oh, you said why? Because they this nigga's too powerful. Niggas weak.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Nobody asked.
Oh no,
I ain't bring them.
I thought you, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to let you know the reason why I ain't bring them because them niggas was weak.
Hilarious. But yeah, shout out to my guy Tien Shinhan. It's also hilarious to me that they always say his full name. They never just call him Tien Shinhan. They say it his full name every single time they talk about him.
In the dub, they just say Tien, but in the sub for sure.
Tri-beam, fire. Solar Flare was sneaky one of the best moves in Dragon. It was simple, but like it was really dope. And then he also when he gets that shot in on Cell to try to protect everybody, that was dope. Shout out to Tien, man. That's my dude. And my number 1, you guys already know Piccolo's my favorite character. Piccolo has always been my favorite character. He will always be my favorite character. I love Piccolo. This guy went from being a villain to being a rival and friend of Goku to literally, it's not a joke. This guy literally raised Gohan. Flat out raised Gohan, trained him, raised him, became a protector and friend of everybody in the whole entire show. Always, he has got a lot of Kakashi to him. Always down to fight and protect people, even if he knows he's not the strongest. If he knows the guy's stronger than him, he's gonna protect his boy Gohan. Love Piccolo, man. Always been my favorite character in the show. He's dope. And in honor of Toriyama, I got a Piccolo tattoo last week. It hurt very bad because I got it on the inside of the bicep, which is, whew, I got one of those on both arms now. Glad I don't have to do that again. That horrifying. Is not a good spot. And he went deep. He went kind of into the armpit too, bro. Oh my goodness. Horrible.
Did you pass out?
No, but I complained the entire time. There was a time where I was just looking at him like, why are you going that far? Like,
hey, stop. Ouch.
Literally, man. That junk hurt. But Piccolo, man, favorite Dragon Ball character, always been my favorite. That's my guy. I love Piccolo, man. Shout out to Piccolo. And just he's so underrated. He got some of the best fights. He got some of the best moments. One of the smartest fighters in the show. Always just kind of did his own thing as far as the training and stuff goes. Like that's my guy. I love Piccolo, man. So that's my top 5 favorite Dragon Ball characters. Boom. And let's get into this last one before we get out of here, man. So we talked about our favorite character. Actually, we got 2 more. Talk about our favorite characters. We've talked about our favorite moments and fights. Let's talk about our favorite arcs next. What are your top 5 favorite arcs? In Dragon Ball Z. We talked about a couple of them earlier off air, and you know how the way that people view the arcs, right? A lot of them I think are one. Some people like to separate them, you know what I mean? But let's go, man. Let's get into the arcs of Dragon Ball Z.
So I have a theme. My theme for these arcs are like when the hero puts in the work and comes back with like with the results. Mm-hmm. Those are my favorite arcs. Facts. So number 5 would be the Ginyu / Frieza arc. Not all of Namek, but specifically when Goku lands. Mm-hmm. And he comes back and absolutely destroys the Ginyu Force. Absolutely destroys the niggas.
That is one of the... Now, I always think it's funny that Raditz got packed up. And so he's, like, as far as big villains go, he had the least amount of, like stick around time. He got packed up, dog.
I mean, he was. They needed to make a statement of like.
I did, and his
damn, can't nobody fuck with this nigga.
And in his defense, like Raditz changed the entire everything of Dragon Ball.
For sure,
he came and changed the whole story of Dragon Ball. So he's one of the most important, villains ever.
And also, like, the 2 strongest fighters in the world couldn't fuck with him off top.
Facts.
Off top. They were both like...
I love that fight so much, man.
They were both like,
Goku and Piccolo.
It got to the point...
We're going to have to take off the clothes.
It got to the point where both of them niggas was like, oh, no.
One of us is going to have to die.
Like, one of us is going to have to sacrifice ourselves to beat him.
And this is before Piccolo was like... kind of pure of heart, so he was like, I'll kill you.
Like, shit.
I'll kill you to kill him.
That nigga Piccolo was like, you say what? Shit. Go ahead, stand over there right there. Here, a little bit to the left, nigga. Special beam. Your ass.
2 for 1.
Fuck Goku.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that was. But the Ginyu Frieza arc was for me one of the first like because again I had the context of this is going to be where he eventually turns Super Saiyan, and then you could really start to see it. He destroyed the Ginyu Force. He destroyed them niggas so much that Ginyu had to literally cheat and blew a hole in his own chest and then pulled out some bullshit. Pulled out the fucking hack's ass like little, hey, bitch, I'm gonna fucking do some weird shit. Body switch. Boom.
Oh, God, that was so annoying.
It was such an ass pull,
and it's like one of those things where, bruh, and it's one of those things where you're just like, I forgot that happened. We're still doing that?
And it added like 4 episodes to an already long arc.
So annoying.
And then fucking Goku was in a hyperbolic chamber for like another 5 or 6 episodes. Him and Vegeta both. But then that's where you got the Piccolo stuff that was really dope. But then once he got out of the time, everything just felt like, oh shit, like we're getting to the final boss now.
It did.
It felt like
I agree.
It's about this time, because I think the whole entire planet had been like either evacuated or like eradicated at that point. Mm-hmm. It was super empty. It wasn't nobody left. And it just felt like it was go time. And then, you got the work that he had put in with King Kai the second time around with King Kai, or no. So wait a minute. Let me make sure I understand this. He went to King Kai. Oh, sorry. So you got the work that he put in with the weighted, like the gravity training that he was doing. That's what kept him for so long. And there was some bullshit there where like he needed to do some training and like something else happened that held him up for a minute. And then he finally got there, but he didn't die. So it was the combination of the King Kai training and also the weighted fucking 100 times gravity shit that he was doing for like a month straight. So he came back a monster, and eventually he needed the Krillin dying a second time to get over the hump, but eventually he hit that Super Saiyan transformation, and the rest was history.
I won't let you get away with this.
Yeah.
I just remember watching that for the first time and just be like, okay,
yeah.
where we going? What's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? What we doing? KO times a million? What are we doing right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So here's the one that's a little controversial. I actually didn't mind the Universal Tournament arc in Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, the Tournament of Power.
So yeah, Tournament of Power. Yeah. I didn't like the ending. I thought they tripped and fell and pooped out the Jiren fight. They really rushed that shit, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm here for like, I don't like super long arcs, but like, come on, bro. Like, because the concept of Alter Instinct was really dope. The concept of Jiren is interesting because he's basically all right. I've heard the internet say who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman. Here's Superman. Right, like that's what it basically was.
Facts.
But they kind of rushed it, and the ending was kind of weird. I really don't even remember. I mean, I know they teamed up to fight, or Frieza for some reason turned good for a second, and they teamed up to beat Jiren, I think, or whatever. I don't know. Who cares? But the reason why I kind of liked it is because it felt a little bit like a fanfic, sort of. Where there were all these,
it
like,
really did though.
Yeah,
like it definitely.
There were all these like alternative history versions of characters. Like you had before they really officially brought back Broly, they had Keffa, who was clearly like a Broly pastiche. You had another.
Was that before the Dragon Ball Super movie?
Yeah, it was.
It was. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure they introduced Kefka before they introduced, because Dragon Ball.
I feel like the Broly movie came out first, bro.
Nah, bro. The Broly movie came out in like 2018.
I feel like the Broly movie came out first.
About to find out. Dragon Ball Super Broly came out in 2019.
19, okay.
And then Keffa, DBZ, was introduced. Anime debut was Blood Curdling, whatever. This was 2017.
So you're right.
So she was introduced.
I was wrong, guys, and guess what? I'm okay with it.
There you go.
Jeez.
No. Right. The internet's wrong.
The internet is wrong.
Right. So yeah, because I remember seeing, because here's the thing. We saw the trailer for this arc and we all thought it was Broly.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know for sure until we saw the episode. And then shortly thereafter, they released the Broly trailer. I was like, oh, no, that's Broly.
Right.
But I mean, clearly this was
I do remember that. Okay.
A Broly.
Nah, that's facts. You're right.
Whatever. So then you had Kale, who is like, or no, that's her name. Her name is Kale. And who the fuck is Keffa then?
I thought that was the Broly girl, wasn't it? Well, it was two characters. They were siblings, I think. I don't know.
I think I'm just. Oh, that's a fusion. I don't know. Oh, it's a fusion of Kale and bro. I'm so confused. It's a fusion of Kale and cauliflower. Who the fuck is that? Bro, I don't remember this shit. Whatever, who cares? I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. But anyways, the reason why I liked it is because it was just like there was like an alternative version of Frieza, and just sort of a who's who of like alternate history kind of stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. Oh yeah, I remember now. So there was Kale, there was Caulifla, and then there was the Vegeta guy, the male
Vegeta guy.
I can't remember his name, but the male one.
I know you're talking about Vegeta guy.
Who really looked up to Vegeta.
Goodness, man. Yes, I remember.
Kaba, that was his name.
So funny.
And he teaches her how to go Super Saiyan. Anyways, yeah, I thought that part was cool. I think Dragon Ball Super has potential, but they just kind of didn't really do it justice.
Facts.
So, all right, then number 3. This is a little bit of a lesser known arc, but I really love the Mercenary Tile arc in Dragon Ball.
Dog, it's good, man. It is.
And just like the whole thing, because again, there's like big fight. Goku takes a brutal L for like maybe the first time. And then like magical adventure where he goes to climb Korin Tower and has this like Aesop's fable ass moment with Korin. Doesn't realize that all of like, I think he was trying to like get the water. He was trying to like steal the water from Korin's staff, and doesn't realize that he was training the whole time.
So what is that arc identified as? Is
I don't know.
Red Ribbon Army?
I think it's a part of the Red Ribbon arc because Mercenary Tile was hired by the Red Ribbon Army.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've obviously know what you're talking about. Because some people identify the arcs by
But the whole Red Ribbon Army arc was like fucking 60 episodes or something. It was forever.
The Commander Red dude with the eye patch.
Yeah. But specifically the Mercenary Tile bit
part of it
was my favorite.
Excellent.
Because the Aesop's fables ass like, hey, like you had it in you the whole time. All this running and jumping and shit, you've actually been doing 1,000 push-ups essentially. Right. He comes back, beats the fucking brakes off of Mercenary Tile,
kicks a grenade in his face and blows him up from point blank range.
Yeah.
Jeez, Goku, what are you, a murderer?
Also, the little Indian baby.
Take notes, Batman.
I forget the Indian baby's name. I felt that was like a kind of a, hit you in the feels a little bit because his dad got killed and all of
Facts.
that. Damn, what was his name? Like Piku or something? You
don't remember
know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I really like that arc. Number 2, obviously the Cell arc, where the whole Android Cell arc.
Goku stop eating so much barbecue.
Yeah, that whole because it was just like it really was a step up from Frieza, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the stakes have been higher. You had Vegeta was now easily a Super Saiyan. You had Trunks was a Super Saiyan.
Vegeta got his arm broke.
Yeah, bro. Everybody had levels, like everybody's power had like leveled up significantly. Piccolo, Trunks.
I love that too, man. When everybody is preparing for the same thing. I loved it when they were training for the tournaments. I love when there's an event that they know is coming or a villain, so everybody goes to train. I love how they kind of have their own training regimens. Like there's some Dragon Ball's got some of the dopest little training episodes and segments. The
fathers and sons in the hyperbolic time chamber. That was dope. With Goku and Gohan in the Saiyan armor. That was fire also.
So dope, man.
So yeah, that was cool.
Piccolo just beating up Gohan when he was training him.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So yeah, the Cell arc is fire, culminating obviously in maybe one of the best moments ever. My favorite moment. And then I think, man, my favorite arc is the Saiyan arc, bro.
Bro, that's a great pick. That arc changed the entire genre of Dragon Ball.
For sure. You can even if you want to start it from Raditz. I'm particularly for me, I'm starting it with like the King Kai training stuff to him finally being resurrected, running down Snake. And also, I loved how long it took him to get to Snake Way the first time.
Yeah.
Did his training and then like immediate, like flies back the other way, like
quick,
super fast, right?
Like, because of the training.
Right. Makes it back. Dope. destroys fucking Nappa instantly.
Dog.
Has a
Drop
dog
kick
ass
on top of the head.
Yeah, bro. Elbows him in the head and like leaves a crazy ass bruise. Absolutely destroys Nappa.
Elbows him in the brain.
Yeah, right. In the mind. That nigga in the subconscious stuff. Has a amazing scrap with Vegeta, and just, you know, to me again, that's the perfect fusion of Dragon Ball Z's high, you know, planetary level of power with Dragon Ball's martial arts choreography.
This is when it was great, really awesome. Around this time. It was great around
like
this time.
The image of them standing on mountain peaks in their respective fighting stances.
You, man, the little camera shots too, man. This was when it was at its best, in my opinion, when those two worlds were coming together and not entirely leaving the Dragon Ball part behind.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Boom. That's fire. All right, man, let's go. My top 5 favorite arcs in all of the Dragon Ball Pantheon. Number 5 for me, 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai Tournament. That is the one that I have alluded to a couple times in this episode, where Tien Shinhan is the big villain in the arc. This is the second tournament that we see in the show. The first tournament was the one where Jackie Chun, aka Master Roshi, was the winner, where he had to blow up the moon because Goku turned into the great ape.
First time the moon had been
destroyed. This arc, man, this is the 22nd tournament. This is the one where Tien comes, and he is so good in this arc, man. He's really good, man. He's a good villain before he kind of has the face turn. He has a really dope fight with Jackie Chun, Master Roshi, and this is where Master Roshi retires, right? Like this is where he gives it up and realizes that there's potential in these other fighters, and that and basically he saw Tien as being strong enough to the point where he couldn't beat him, and that he knew if Goku was gonna be what he needed to be, Goku had to beat him. You know what I mean? So that's why he loses on purpose. But this arc's dope, man. There's so many good fights in this tournament. Again, you got the Tien versus Yamcha, which is one of my favorites. You got Tien versus Jackie Chun. You got Goku versus Tien in the final, Kid Goku versus Tien in the final, which is really dope. You got Krillin versus Chaozu. Krillin versus Chaozu is just fun. It's just funny. But all the fights in this tournament slap is really dope. One of my favorites, man. Number 4, I'm going with the Android Saga / the Cell Saga. I mean, it's fire. One of my favorite things, of course, in Z is when, you know, those side characters get their moments, and you know, everybody training and kind of preparing for the androids, and when the androids do come, and you know, they all had some dope moments, man, against the androids. Piccolo, Vegeta, before Vegeta got too full of himself. You know what I'm saying? And then again, some of the best fights in the series, man, come from this arc, man. You got Piccolo versus Android 17. You got, and I mean, I know we love Gohan and Perfect Cell, but Goku's fight with Perfect Cell was really dope too, man, before he kind of tagged in Gohan. And just the whole, man, that whole just preparation for Cell and for the androids is really just like top tier Dragon Ball stuff, man. So definitely one of the best arcs for sure to me. My number 3, the Saiyan Saga, man. Like you said, bro, this is really man, you know what? Do I want to put this higher? Because you're right. This is really, in my opinion, it's just at its peak, man, because you're right. It's like that perfect meeting point of the Dragon Ball Z stuff with you know, the out of this planet stuff and the and things, the stakes getting higher and the characters being more powerful, but still has like the essence of Dragon Ball as far as like the fighting goes and the martial arts goes. It's still there. You know what I'm saying? So, dang, man. You know what? Oh, you making it tough on me, bro.
It's good.
All right, I'm gonna keep it at 3 for now. My number 2, the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai Tournament, man. This is the last arc of Dragon Ball before we get to Z. Fire, man. So many good fights in the last tournament, man. I just was talking about Goku versus Tien, the rematch earlier. Mm-hmm. Then you get Goku versus Piccolo in the final, and then you get Piccolo versus Krillin, and then you get Piccolo versus Hero, who is just Kami in the human disguise. You get Yamcha versus him, and then you get, this stays at 2, bro, because I love just like everybody coming back after the 3 years, and you see all the characters for the first time in forever, and it's dope because they almost make it. The way that they do it is, you want to see Goku, right? But you actually see Goku before you see Krillin and Tien and Yamcha, you know what I'm saying? And then when they show up, it's even cooler. I love this arc, man. This arc is really dope. And again, the fights are so good, and just seeing how everybody is just so much stronger than they were before, and they're grown, and everybody's it's just different. It's really good, man. So I'm gonna keep the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai Tournament at number 2. And again, the fights, man. And then you get Goku and Chi-Chi seeing each other since they were kids, and that whole thing with Chi-Chi being pissed at Goku.
Wait, hold on. I still have
I gotta
rewatch this one.
All right, this is it's good. It's good stuff, man. So that's my number 2. My number 1 is gonna be the Frieza Namek arc, man. Just everything, the Goku being gone and not being able to get there, and Piccolo showing up and fusing with Nail, and then holding Frieza off until Goku gets there, and this is the first time we left Earth, man. You know what I'm saying? In the whole show, and going to another planet, just fire. And then obviously you get Frieza, and you get Goku turning Super Saiyan for the first time. Like, this is top tier Dragon Ball, man. That's my number 1.
I also think I read somewhere before that this was supposed to be actually the end of the whole Dragon Ball manga.
And like, it could have been, and it would have been fine. You know what I mean? It would have been dope. So that's my top 5, man. Number 5, the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. Number 4, the Android Saga, Cell Saga. Number 3, the Saiyan Saga. Number 2, the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai Tournament. Number 1, the Namek/Frieza Saga. Boom! Let's go. Last one, we'll make it quick. There's like 100 Dragon Ball movies.
Yeah, I think there's like 18 altogether.
And we were talking earlier about these movies, and I realized that I had not 1, not 2, but 3 movies that I thought were the same thing.
Right.
And I kind of had to do some research to jog my memory a little bit.
Dead Zone, World's Strongest,
and Tree of Might.
Tree of Might is pretty different.
I had all 3 confused.
But World's Strongest and Dead Zone are very easily confused.
Yeah. So I had to jog my memory a little bit to get those, to separate those. But let's go, man. What are your first of all? What's the on 3? What's the worst Dragon? And guys, there is no live action Dragon Ball 1 movie. That never happened. I've never heard of that. So on 3, what's the worst Dragon Ball movie? 1, 2, 3. Bio Broly. Oh god,
it was so weak, though.
Bro, I remember
Play-Doh Broly.
Nickelodeon Slime Broly. I remember renting that movie from Blockbuster with my brother when I was maybe about 10, maybe even younger, maybe like 9 or something. And I just remember this is after seeing the first Broly movie and thinking it was like amazing. And then renting Bio Broly strictly because it has Broly in the title. And like watching it and like going to my mom on the same Friday night and being like, hey, can we take this back and get something else?
That shit weak. Yeah.
That movie sucks.
So I was wrong. There's actually 21 Dragon Ball movies counting from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super. There's 21 altogether.
That's a lot of movies.
There's 4 Dragon Ball movies. There are 15. Even though the last 2 are Dragon Ball Super, but technically speaking, there are 15 Dragon Ball Z movies and 2 Dragon Ball Super movies.
Dog, you could literally watch. You could almost have a separate fandom and like not watch the show and just watch the movie.
Yeah, facts. And none of them are technically canon except for Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. Those are the only ones that are technically canon. But
so weird.
Yeah, it is super.
None of this stuff exists.
Yeah, I don't really get that, but then again, I think they're canon because they tell you when they take place, right? Like they take place within the context of stuff that's happening in canon,
right?
So whatever. All right, so we'll make this super quick. My number 5 favorite movie is Dragon Ball Super Hero, the most recent one, because of got some new finally. Yeah, man.
Got some new
stuff
for some people that deserved it for so many years, bro.
Piccolo and Gohan used to be heavy hitters. They have been relegated to side characters for like 20 years.
Oh my gosh, I actually love you having this in your top.
Yeah, and Piccolo gets a crazy new transformation.
Dog.
Putting him into like legitimate like Super Saiyan God levels.
Dog.
And Gohan, here's the reason why we're so disappointed is because y'all kept saying Gohan was gonna be y'all kept saying Gohan is going to be the greatest of all time. They kept saying that.
Facts.
And they never gave it to us, bro. Never even came close. Then they did a little Mystic Gohan bullshit, but then they had to like yada yada him out of the Buu saga because I don't know. And then they kind of took all of his fighting away, like as if to say that you can't be a dog ass martial artist and also a scholar. Like that's kind of silly.
Facts.
Think that you can't do both.
Can't. You can only fight or go to school. Which one are you gonna do?
Right. But Dragon Ball Super, they finally gave him some stuff, and as they say that as a matter of fact, let me just pull this up. I think I saw it on the Dragon Ball wiki. To be. So Dragon Ball Super Hero introduces so great blah 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 blah. Johnny Young Bosch does the voice of Broly. I don't think I knew that because the guy who originally did Broly, I think, got into some legal trouble. On some like. I think like some RAPE allegations or some shit. Okay, here we go. What is the name of the Final Gohan? That's so dope. That's so much better.
I thought it was Beast Gohan.
It is, but I like Final Gohan so much better. That's so fucking dope.
It is. It sounds dope.
So easily evolve. So basically, it's Ultimate Gohan who has gone Super Saiyan. So Piccolo believes just prior to Gohan achieving this form that he would be the strongest in the world. And the promotion of the film, Toriyama referred to Gohan as stronger than anyone, or so it said, but not having a chance to shine in a film recently. So yeah, he's strong as fuck. I'm trying to see Piccolo's evolution as well to see approximately how strong or what level he's on. But they make it pretty clear that he's like fine because he was always in that like second tier of cats. Yeah. But with this new.
There's a couple moments in the show where he's one of the strongest characters. You know what I mean? Yeah. After fusing with Kami.
Yep.
And the Android Saga.
But there's always a Saiyan that immediately comes and like.
And just like usurps him. Yeah. Nope, I'm stronger.
Yeah.
Saiyan.
Nah, you were good for like a second, but nah, we're gone.
Saiyan, I'm stronger.
Yeah. Anyways, I can't find it, but he's strong as hell. Oh, here we go. Super. So blah blah blah. Piccolo. Bro, this is not helpful at all. At all. Oh, here we go. With his weights on, after Shenron unlocked his talent, his potential unleashed, was still able to hold his own for a period of struggle, blah, 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 blah. Orange Piccolo was completely unfazed by Gamma 2's barrage. Cell Max, blah, 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 blah. They don't say exactly. They don't really give him a whatever. This turned out to be a waste of time. But the point we can clearly infer that he is like in that top tier of like Z fighters now, like, which he deserves. So yeah, shout out to Dragon Ball Superhero. The movie was basically just the Cell Saga rehash, but who cares? Like we got what we wanted from Gohan and Piccolo. That's all we cared about. Number 4, Fusion Reborn. That is the Janemba movie where you get introduced to Gogeta. And Super Saiyan 3. There's some Super Saiyan 3 stuff in there. You get introduced to Pikkon, who's a really dope character.
Really dope character there.
You get Gogeta's intergalactic jelly bean move that is like super iconic.
That's fire. Yeah.
Which is pretty dope. So I like that one. Number 3, I would go with Tree of Might. Just because that's it's like a little side Saiyan saga, which is you get Turles, who Piccolo or who Gohan like thinks is like his dad, which is look exactly the same. So interesting piece of trivia here. Toriyama is very good. Rest in peace, Toriyama. We love him, but he is also like notorious for like some silly retcons every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
The original plan was for that to be a third Goku brother. It was supposed to be Raditz, Turles, and Goku, which explain why they look exactly the same.
Did you ever call them turtles when you were a kid? Because it just looks like turtles.
Probably.
I did.
But the retcon that they used was that this is kind of silly. Was that all of the lower class Saiyans have the same face? I'm dead ass serious, bro. That's how they
look the same.
That's how they went. That's how they explained him looking exactly like Goku.
Goodness.
But just like without that context, like just at the time, really trying to figure out and understand who the Saiyans were and like what this meant was kind of cool.
Right.
And he represented like a early, really, really big bad in Dragon Ball. And then my top 2 spots are both Broly OG. So the one that came out, the original like heavenly version of Broly with the fucking
royal
Broly, where he absolutely dog. One of the funniest scenes ever is Vegeta literally crying, dog. And nigga Piccolo was like, if you don't straighten up, nigga,
dog. Dad, come on, get up,
dog. Piccolo straight up says, you can. I think he says something along the lines of, you can sit over here and keep crying if you want. The Warriors are gonna be over here scrapping.
This dude's on all fours.
Vegeta said, bro, y'all can't fuck. Y'all don't understand, bro. You can't fuck with this nigga. He is the legendary Super Saiyan. You guys are insane. And he did beat the brakes off all of them niggas. The legendary Super Saiyan.
Kill us all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
He hyped himself up a little bit, but
get still, up.
Piccolo and Trunks were like, dog, you got to get your shit together, bro. Get up. We literally need, this nigga is dragging Goku through a building right now. Help him, please.
Oh my goodness, man. That guy.
Broly beat the shit out of them niggas, dog.
Bruh.
As Broly being one of my favorite characters ever, my number 1 favorite movie is obviously the new Broly movie. That shit was so fucking fire.
Oh my goodness.
The whole movie was just like a 45-minute
scrap.
Them niggas knocked each other into different dimensions, bro.
And
it was crazy.
Excellent.
Bro, the animation was crazy. They tried to get what did they do to Frieza? Where they Frieza snitched and said,
bro,
Broly, look. Broly, look. And then they made an escape and put Frieza in his path.
He just started beating him. He's just seeing nothing.
Dog. Frieza was offended at how, bro, he was getting his ass whooped so bad that he was offended. Like, bro, how dare you put hands on me like this? Like, it was beating the shit out of Frieza, dog. So, yeah, I think we saw that in theaters. Did we see that together or?
I don't know. Did we? We may have. I saw it like 3 times.
Yeah, that shit was hard, bro. So, yeah, that's my favorite. Broly, the 2 Broly movies are my top 2, but the new Broly is my favorite.
Man, a lot of good Dragon Ball movies. Let's go, man. Top 5 favorite Dragon Ball movies. You know, I did love Dragon Ball Superhero, man, and I hated the animation for it.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
But I did love the fact that they finally did our boys justice, man. Our boys who deserve it, Piccolo and Gohan. I just don't like that animation, bro. Like, that was the only thing I don't like about that movie. But let's go. My top 5. My number 5, for all my Gohan people out there, BoJack Unbound. I love BoJack Unbound. It's got some of the dopest fights, and this is, if you're a Gohan fan, if you love Teen Gohan, this is a good Gohan movie to watch. He's really dope in this movie. BoJack's a good villain. I love how they kind of sneak the little tournament in at the beginning. They give some of the side characters some shine. I love how Krillin was like really thinking he was about to win, and then like Trunks shows up, and then he just like,
damn. This nigga, Super Saiyan ass.
It's really dope, man. I love BoJack Unbound. It's my number 5.
Also, Tien was beating Trunks' ass.
Dog, Tien was beating Trunks, and then Trunks had to turn Super Saiyan in a tournament.
Right.
Oh, come on, man. What are we doing, bro? This is a tournament, my guy. Trying to kill his friend. But yeah, man, my number 5, BoJack Unbound. Love that movie. Always have loved that movie. It's always been one of my favorites. BoJack, one of the sweetest looking, just random Dragon Ball villains. Yeah, he looks dope. My number 4, Cooler's Revenge, man. Mm-hmm. Again, another really dope looking bad guy.
One of the best looking villains ever.
Cooler was one of the best looking villains. This has always been one of my favorite Dragon Ball movies. I used to rent this movie so much. And then used to really sit here and try to Cooler's stronger than Frieza. You know, when I was a kid, absolutely not. But you know, that was an argument I used to try to make when I was a kid. But definitely,
I think 4, he was at the time.
Could have been. But number 4, Cooler's Revenge. Love this movie. It's really dope. Cooler's such a dope designed character. One of the best looking bad guys in Dragon Ball. Number 3. Dragon Ball Super Broly, man. This movie is amazing. Like you said, it's like a long fight, all the way from Goku to fighting Broly, to Vegeta fighting Broly, to Gogeta fighting Broly, and that crazy, what is it called?
I don't know what it's called, but the jelly bean thing.
That whole attack, and just the animation of this movie is nuts. It's so, man, that moment when Goku's kind of jumping around and takes off his jacket. I love the fact that Goku and Vegeta have like winter coats on. It's just, this movie's fire, man. I love it. It's really dope. And just kind of and you know, I love the old Broly movie. Like, it's one of my favorites. It definitely would be my like tops, 7 or something. But just the way that they did what Broly needed, right? Like, the Broly character needed just like a real story, you know what I'm saying? And like, this was kind of dope, it's better. What you mean? You wanted to kill Goku because he was crying when he was a baby? That's why you want to kill him? You know what I mean? So this was dope. Number 2, World's Strongest, man. This era of Dragon Ball movies, bro, where the team ups were like Goku and Piccolo, my favorite period of Dragon Ball movies, bro. Like, and the hands.
Stardust Breaker is the name of this movie.
That is an incredible name for a move. But the hands in these movies, bro. These, like, if you watch World's Strongest, bro, the animation, the fight choreography, like, this is so good. This is right in that early Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, like, you know, time period. And it's still got that martial arts flavor. So World's Strongest, my number 2. My favorite, my number 1, Dead Zone, man. This is my favorite Dragon Ball movie. Again, like we just talked about, this was the bridge between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. So again, this is like right after the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. Piccolo's kind of training because he's mad he lost to Goku. Then they end up teaming up in this movie. It's like my favorite team up. It's fighting big, muscular, swole Garlic Jr. And again, like the fights, man, in this movie and in World's Strongest, like the animation and the scraps in these two movies are so good. Again, just like that period of early Dragon Ball Z, late Dragon Ball, still keeping their martial arts, you know, animation and choreography with these characters, and then like just those early team ups with Goku and Piccolo, man, that's my favorite time of Dragon Ball. So, boom, those are my top 5 favorite movies. Number 5, BoJack and Bao. Number 4, Cooler's Revenge. Number 3, Dragon Ball Super Broly. Number 2, World's Strongest. And number 1, Dead Zone. That glorious period, early Dragon Ball, or late Dragon Ball, early Dragon Ball Z. Those are my favorites.
I don't know what that's.
What is that?
It's an ad as usual.
Lots of good Dragon Ball talk, man, on this episode.
Yeah,
Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, man. I got a Piccolo tattoo. I might get another Dragon Ball tattoo, dog. Now that we had this conversation,
what do you think? Is it gonna be 10?
Probably, maybe. I don't know. I would love to get, like, I remember Tien does this dope technique against Goku in the 22nd tournament where he like gets more arms and it just looks cool. That would be like a dope thing to get on. But shout out to Dragon Ball, shout out to Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, whatever, just Dragon Ball. Akira Toriyama, you're the GOAT. We love you. Yes. We are thankful for this life-changing piece of art that you gave us. Guys in the Discord, man, you know, guys and gals in the Discord, we'll post this in there, all these lists that we do, so we can get yours too. And just, you know, guys, if you have not watched the original Dragon Ball, I know everybody loves Dragon Ball Z and everyone has seen Dragon Ball Z, make sure that you go back and you check out Dragon Ball. It is a easy watch. It's fun. It's good action. It moves very quick. And it's just very, again, like I said earlier, it's just mad watchable. You know what I mean? It's just mad watchable. So make sure you go back and you revisit Dragon Ball in honor of the GOAT, Akira Toriyama, man. Sure.
It's very watchable. Something if you just need to put something on as you go to sleep, can't really beat it.
And maybe the greatest anime opening theme ever.
Hell yeah.
Been in it. Song is fire. The theme song is fire. The closing theme song is fire.
Bro, the closing theme song makes me sad. It's like a nostalgic kind of sad.
It is a nostalgic kind of sad. I actually skip it when I was
facts, bro.
It because
sometimes it's like
it was making me sad, bro. I was literally skipping it. That's crazy. Yeah,
the 90s,
bro. It's making me sad. The ending Inuyasha song has the same effect.
Oh
on
my
me.
god, bro! It's so many endings. Like almost, there's like 7 different Inuyasha endings, and they all hit the same way.
Fantastic. Go watch Dragon Ball. Go watch Dragon Ball Z. Do it for yourself. Thank y'all for listening. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Peace.